This fourth video dedicated to George Orwell is focused on 1984, which is his second bestseller, published in 1949, a year before the author's death and 4 years after the end of World War II. As a matter of fact, it is triggered by the conference held at Yalta at the end of World War II in 1945, during which new European borders were outlined, dividing the world in two main blocks. One dominated by the leadership of the Soviet Union, the other mainly influenced by the US, an East and a West. And it is this the setting of the novel itself, in which Orwell predicts a foreboding future. It's a prophecy that many times has been referred to as one of the most disquieting ideas of a future that has become reality in many ways, as we will see. The world that George Orwell envisions in this novel is divided in three main areas. One is defined as East Asia, that included Asia and the Far East. There's a block called Oceania, including England, which is no longer a leading power, an empire, but merely its appendix, and in this we can easily recognize an appendix of the United States, and Eurasia, which consists of Europe and Russia. Now, of these three blocks, Oceania is constantly at war with the other two. The party that embodies leadership in this new setting, of blocks, and especially in Oceania, is identified as Big Brother. We can say that it symbolizes the idea of, which it's actually a pun, because Big Brother in English means someone older who is meant to protect and take care, watch over, as a matter of fact, the younger one. In reality, this watch over is used in a very literal sense within the novel. As a matter of fact, every corner of Oceania is controlled by closed-circuit cameras. Even the homes of citizens are constantly under scrutiny of cameras. We must also underline that individuals are not allowed any any writing devices, so they're not allowed to have papers in their homes, pens, pencils, nothing that can allow them to analyze and investigate their inner selves. History is totally revised by the party itself in order to change the mindset of people. The present and the past are interflowing, but the past is wiped away in this new political order in order to celebrate the status quo that is being enforced, and any dissenting memory of what the party is conveying is severely punished. And this is another reason why any writing device is prohibited, because no one should be allowed, or no one is allowed to record their personal individual memories, and most of all, they are not allowed to write down or keep record of any past history events. To that effect, one of the party's main objectives that are being carried out in this new era is the creation of a new language, which is called simply Newspeak. The creation of this new language entails the drastic reduction of vocabulary in order to avoid any type of emotional investigation from the people, from the citizens. The reason is that the less amount of words individuals can use, the less opportunity, the less chance they have to express their ideas and to voice even their personal fears and qualms. The main character, whose name is Wilbur Smith, is discovered. He is actually being denounced by his partner, someone whom he falls in love with, and this is another issue that is being prohibited. Any type of relationship among the citizen is prohibited because the individual is supposed to be totally alone. So history is reinvented to conform the new political order and to celebrate it. The new language is being created so as to reduce the possibility of people to voice their fears, their doubts, their perplexities about what is going on. And information dispatched is meant to portray only what the new regime wanted the population to think and to believe. So Winston Smith, the protagonist, who dares to go against these prohibitions and writes down in great secrecy his feelings, is tortured and brainwashed to the point of complete surrendering of its most deepest identity. When he does finally survive the ordeal, he is the mere shadow of a man and pledges his unconditional love to Big Brother. So the controlling system of this regime that keeps under strict scrutiny every single member of the of society is telling us that technology has the power to crush any type of individual freedom, and everything is replaced by a brotherhood, which instead of enhancing people's freedom, it crushes them into a society that is manipulated and exploited in its foundation. So if previously there was the belief of positive change with the new progressive political ideas, a world where the individual self could find room for open-minded thinking, free thinking from oppressive discipline and stifling order, where a post-revolutionary, post-war society could finally nurture and cherish the values that came from the past and were now supposed to be a defense against exploitation and suffering. George Orwell's 1984 tells us that just like it had happened in Animal Farm, any ideal is not safe at all if brought to its extremes. Therefore, we can say that if the previous novels left the reader with a sense of foreboding, this one is even more disconcerting and disquieting, especially for its prophetic meanings and its prophetic outcome. There will be probably some other videos analyzing the excerpts that we should have been reading in class, but this is still under development, and we'll see what happens next.